When you're meeting a new potential BDSM partner online, a lot of people will suggest that you use a safe call for when you meet for the first time in person. But what is a safe call? Well, we're going to talk about that, and that way you can decide whether using a safe call is right for you. Hey guys, it's Morgan with BDSM Relationships and Education. Thank you very much for checking out this video. Today we're going to talk about safe calls and what they are and if they are right for you to use. But before we get into that, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications. That way you will be notified every time I post a new video. I usually post about 3 videos per week. And if you enjoy this video, please give me a thumbs up, and that way I know to make more videos like this. So today we are going to talk about safe calls. Now, they are something that is used specifically within BDSM if you're meeting people online, but I think that it's generally used in online dating as a whole. The idea is that you have somebody who's going to call you to check in when you meet somebody for the first time, whether you're meeting them in public or if you are meeting them more privately, which most of us will not suggest. Of course, it's always wise to meet somebody for the first time in a public location like a coffee shop or a restaurant, but I know that not everybody chooses to follow that advice, and you do need to decide what is right for you. Personally, I prefer to meet people in public first, but you do you. Now, one thing to remember is that a safe call is a tool for safety. It is not the only thing that you need to use. So you should still vet your partners. You should still be careful. You should listen to your instincts. Do all the other things that you do to check somebody out before meeting them. And don't think that, oh, I have a safe call, so now I can do whatever and it'll be totally fine, because it's only one tool to help ensure safety. So the basic idea is that you have a friend who is going to call or text you at a certain pre-organized time, and you need to respond to them within a certain time period, usually 15 to 20 minutes, with a specific word or phrase. You don't necessarily want to have your response be like, oh, I'm cool, because anybody could fake that, right? Especially if it's text. So you want to have sort of like a code phrase that lets your friend know that you may be in trouble. So I've always kind of done the like, oh yeah, no, everything's going great. Oh, could you pick up milk on the way home? And, you know, like, it's something that, you know, anybody would say. I say, oh yeah, no, it was my roommate and she just, you know, whatever. So it's one way that you can kind of indicate that something is not right without alerting the person that's probably sitting there looking at you. And if it's through text, you can do the same thing. Hey, would you mind picking up milk on your way home or something? And the person that's there, if they are texting and saying, oh yeah, everything's great, if they've stolen your phone or something, then they're not going to know the key phrase. So I would have something different to mean that things are okay and something to mean that it's not okay. So pick up milk on the way home means I'm in trouble, and oh, what are we doing for dinner tonight means everything's cool, or whatever. Just something that would be like really common conversation that I would have with a friend or a roommate or whatever. So that's kind of the way I approach it. You can approach it in whatever manner you want, but the idea is that you kind of have those little code words in there. The other way you can do it is you can have a phrase that means everything is okay, and if you don't use that phrase, well, then we know everything is not okay. So again, using my example from earlier, I might say, oh, what are we gonna do for dinner tonight? If everything's cool, and if I don't mention dinner at all, well, then I might be in trouble. So it's just a certain way to let that other person know what is going on. Now, the other idea here is that you need to leave the information that you have with your safe call. So where you're going to be going, the person you're going with, their contact info, like any information you have about this person should be left with your safe call. Now, this means that your safe call needs to be somebody who is trustworthy, because this is basically if absolute worst case scenario happens and you go missing and they need to contact the police, they have at least a little bit of information to go by. You know, obviously we hope and pray that that never happens, and I think that that would be an absolute rarity, but it has happened before in the past, and unfortunately, I think that it will probably happen again in the future. So this is just a reality of dating online. You need to take precautions and be careful. So once again, I'm just going to leave it at a safe call is one way to keep one tool towards safety. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. I have used them in the past. I don't use them all the time. I don't do a lot of online dating or meeting strangers in that context anymore, but I often used it when I was doing a lot more modeling or fetish videos and stuff like that. You know, because I was meeting people for the first time, often just in a coffee shop, or sometimes I was just going to a shoot without having really met them in person. So I use safe calls at that point for those reasons, so that you know, I had that sort of extra layer of precaution. But again, if it doesn't work for you, then don't use a safe call. Just do whatever it is that you need to do to feel safe. So that is my question for you guys. What do you do when dating online to remain safe? Or if you're doing modeling or fetish videos or any of that kind of stuff, what do you do to remain safe? What little hints or tricks can you share with everybody else? Please leave them in the comments below, and that way, hopefully we can help everybody stay safe. Thanks guys, and I'll catch you in the next video.